Udviklingsbistand og humanitærbistand spiller en afgørende rolle, når konflikter truer befolkninger på livet og ødelægger resultatet af mange års udvikling. Udviklingsbistand er bistand givet til fattige lande som støtte til økonomisk udvikling. Humanitær bistand søger at mindske lidelse på kort sigt, mens udviklingsbistand søger at fjerne fattigdom på langt sigt. Danmark har udviklingspolitisk samarbejde med 24 prioritetslande. Sri Lanka er ikke et af disse lande, men Sri Lanka har dog modtaget støtte fra mange andre lande. Tildelingen af humanitær udviklingsbistand i Sri Lanka har ikke altid været lige til. Tidligere troede man, at man kunne tildele humanitær og udviklingsbistand i konfliktområder, såsom efter tsunamien i Sri Lanka, uden at tænke for meget over dynamikken i konflikten. Sri Lanka var et af de hårdest ramte lande under 2004-tsunamien. Ordet tsunami er efterhånden et glemt ord for mange af os, men tsunamien knuste mange menneskers liv. Tsunamien fik et stort antal lande i verden til at samle sig om at hjælpe Sri Lanka. Tsunamien fik også de splittede grupper i Sri Lanka til at arbejde sammen i begyndelsen. Fredsforskeren fortæller os om, hvordan tsunamien fik folk til at hjælpe hinanden på tværs af religiøse og etniske tilhørsforhold.
That supernatural force has, metaphorically saying, told the two communities or three communities that, look, there's an opportunity. You all to work in a different manner. It's like when you have, it's very difficult to develop a compromise for a value conflict unless you develop a subordinate value. So this supernatural force provided us a space to develop that subordinate value. International community was with us, all the parties. I know that for first 10 days, the communities, not the state, communities helped each other. None of the civil society organizations or state able to address or intervene for this humanitarian disaster. It was people to people contact, right? It took at least 10 days, at minimum of 7 days, for intervene these organized institutions like state, the NGOs, INGOs to the scene. Up to then, all the people to people interacted, helped, saved, rescued, provided shelter, etc., etc.
Dette varede desværre ikke længe, da løftet om humanitær udviklingsbistand fra det internationale samfund fik diverse grupper til at frygte, at pengene ville ryge i de forkerte hænder. Ministeren fortæller os om, hvordan de buddhistisk-singalesiske nationalister frygtede, at bistanden ville støtte LTTE eller de såkaldte tamilske tigre.
Unfortunately, the Western people do not understand the LTT mindset. Because of that, they genuinely thought we can channel aids to the tsunami affected people through the LTT. LTT they don't know, LTT are the people who grab everything possessed by the innocent Tamils for their benefit. So whatever the material benefits given to the LTT to pass to the tsunami affected people has not been done so. It was the classic example of the Wakare liberation operation. During that time, our forces found lot of camp sheds, food items, tents, medical equipments, medical supplies given to the LTT to pass to people have been stuck in their camps for their use. And when we talk to the people, they have not received anything but has been trying to channel through the LTT.
Verdensbanken opfordrede til p-toms samarbejde med LTTE om nødhjælpsarbejdet, men de buddhistisk-singalesiske nationalister og det politiske parti JVP var dog konsekvent imod et samarbejde med LTTE og saboterede derfor det foreslåede samarbejde.
The mechanism that the entities, that is the state and the LTT, negotiated was that p-toms agreement was sabotaged by these political entrepreneurs. So that led for this present situation. So this is a direct outcome. The present day is a direct outcome of that, our inability to resolve the p-toms mechanism.
The tsunami money that was coming was expected to be shared between the north and east and the south. And what we were hoping was that there would be a structured way whereby this sharing could be worked out. And p-toms was one of those things that could have done that. But the fact remained that p-toms could not be worked out because the Supreme Court held that it was illegal and it was a body outside the Sri Lanka constitution. At the same time, there were politicians who proved the money. I mean, there are various stories of very, very senior politicians, some of them very, very important people who took the money for uses other than tsunami relief. So on the one hand, there was structural discrimination in the way these monies were going to be dispersed, the north and east and the south. At the same time, politicians, for their own interests and in keeping with their own ambitions, broke some of the money and saw to it that those monies didn't reach where they did. And the third thing is that we also know that some of the money that came for tsunami relief was used for purchases of arms by the Sri Lanka government.
Man glemte, at hvis man tildeler ressourcer til et land, hvor der er konflikt, påvirker man faktisk dynamikken i konflikten, om man ved det eller ej. Udviklingsarbejderen fortæller os, at man nøje skal overveje de mulige negative konsekvenser, humanitær og udviklingsbistand kan have i lande med konflikt.
I think the role of donor organisations and particularly international organisations within the conflict in Sri Lanka is extremely complicated and requires very careful analysis of the situation and the context within which you're working before you begin working in Sri Lanka. It is an extremely complicated country, even in terms of geography, in terms of climate. There are 7 or 8 climatic zones in the country. It's not a very big place. There are at least 8 or 9 different target groups, ethnic groups, religious groups that you could identify within the country. And most of these have some concerns or some conflict with another group. So to come into the country and work within the country, you have to have a thorough understanding of the context within which you're working to ensure that whatever you do doesn't create more harm than it does good. And certainly in terms of the response following the tsunami, I think one of the key lessons that should be learnt is that organisations simply didn't take enough time to understand the context within which they were working. And in Sri Lanka's case, it was a complex conflict, ceasefire situation onto which a natural disaster was overlaid and into which then organisations rushed almost with their eyes closed to try to provide assistance. And there's a great danger if you do that and you're not aware of the context within which you're working, that your assistance will actually create more problems or create more harm than it will do good.